Your blood is a generational map. So I'm putting together this class. And of course, I am literally studying bloodlines. Spirit has this so heavy on me. Like, we in here. We doing the work. We finding answers. We getting transmissions. It's coming. So I came across the term intergenerational transmission. And it basically speaks to, it's a scientific term. And it's always amazing to me that there are all these scientific terms that we never ever really encounter unless we're in a field of study like psychology, sociology, psychotherapy. Like, you never really encounter these terms unless you're doing some deeper study, which is why it's probably impressed upon us to, go to college or to study something on a deeper level. It's why there were scholars back in Roman and Greek times and Egyptian times. Like, there were literally people, this is what they did. They studied. So intergenerational transmission basically speaks to the behaviors, the traumas, the belief systems, the habits, the things that are passed down through your generational line. So it's generational practices. And your blood being a map is literally like a scroll, a mapping. It is imprinted upon through every physical body that it inhabits. So just let that sink in. Like, your blood is a combination of all the blood of those who came before you. Who they married, who they haven't married. You literally hold the imprinting on the blood, because any fluid that's imprinted on in the body normally is imprinted on. So if sperm entering the body, even if it doesn't connect with the egg, that sperm then becomes a part of your makeup, your genetic makeup, because it basically, your body is a map of how you've lived, and it holds so much information. But the blood is literally a generational map. So transgenerational inheritance is based on epigenetics, and it's where experiences is stored, like stress or trauma, that can influence how your genes is expressed across generations, and it happens without changing your DNA. So when you think about, like, so many things that repeat in your life, it is mind-boggling to me, right? That as a person who works with clients, how many things repeat within their bloodline, including the stresses. And basically, we all know that your DNA is your own DNA. It's your own combination specific to you, right? And so because of that uniqueness, we are thinking that our blood is unique, which it is a unique combination, because there's no one else that has your blood imprinting pattern, because you were born, you are the newer model. Okay, you are the most evolved version, unless you then have those who come after you. So the reason that you do work, right? Do healing work, identify, different patterns and different things. When you come as the pattern breaker, when you come as the person who understands that something needs to change, something needs to evolve, and that your bloodline, your generational line, needs a different direction. When you come as that person, right? You have to then look at family patterns and family systems of patterns. And so this can speak to, like, the roles, the dynamics, the behaviors. Like, you know how, like, every family feels like they need to have a matriarch, someone who takes the reins to guide the family, in the direction that they need to go. Or there's these repeating roles where you may have a child who is the one who's always trying to save everyone, and then that child's child will do the exact same thing. They're maybe their oldest child, their second oldest child, and they will learn how to do that from the practices and patterns of the parent that they came from. So they may inherit it from both parents if they're both present. It may lie dormant if there's a parent that is not present, and they may be something that they don't truly understand. But when you have family systems of patterns and you are the pattern breaker, you have to look at those. You also have to look at generational trauma cycles, which is basically patterns of unresolved trauma that continues across generations. And this happens when secrets are kept, when nobody's talking about what has happened at different times, when the older generation is saying, that's the past, I don't really want to talk about the past. But yet you have people who have been affected by the past. And in order to keep the past a secret, they deny the people within their generational line, so their sisters and their brothers, who are trying to find a way of healing, trying to find a way of like addressing things that they've been experiencing. You will have people make them think that they're crazy, that something didn't happen, not wanting to talk about it, not wanting to validate that they had a situation that was real, especially when it comes to sexual trauma, especially when it comes to what looks like mental illness. I feel like in our society, we have been given basic definitions of what things look like what crazy looks like, what mentally ill looks like, because crazy and mental illness is two different things, even though they can be used. What it looks like for someone to forgive. Like, I think that has even dual definitions and expressions as well. And so we pass all of this on, and it is imprinting in our blood and being passed on to our children and our grandchildren. And as more people interwoven, as a mother gets married, as a child gets married, as and the generational lines keep going on, it just adds to that bloodline. And so basically, the person who's a pattern breaker is doing a course correct for the bloodline. You are shifting the practices, shifting the patterns. You are even releasing things, patterns, understandings, imprinting, ways of thinking. You're releasing those things so that it can shift and also redefine so many areas to keep things from repeating. You are bringing awareness to the unawareness within your bloodline of how things should be done, how they could have been done better. This is not about blaming anybody. This is genuinely about doing the work to correct it. It doesn't matter who was wrong or right. The most important thing is that it is no longer practiced. So no matter how many conversations you want to have about what somebody's done, why was it done, trying to understand it, you can do that in your free time and take yourself on that loop and roller coaster of sadness or frustration, or in some cases what you thought was happiness, to find out that it may not have, but it may have been something different. But initially, when you're addressing the blood, it is very scientific. It speaks to what is imprinted on it, and if you no longer want it to be there, what needs to be done in order for it to no longer exist. Okay? So it is a simple experiment that may need to be done over a time period, or it may be something that is released with the simplicity of awareness. And it is not something that you have to do with other people. It is something that you do within yourself. And then you outwardly practice something different that may be scrutinized, that may not be understood, but it is redefining. And that's all that truly matters, especially when you're the pattern breaker. So, patterns in the bloodline. It does not get any more deeper than that. I'm sure it can, but I guess I'll find out.